Please go ahead and be seated. Before I begin, I want you to know that video was made in-house with staff. Very impressive. Good afternoon. I'm Toni Freeman, President of the Association of Junior Leagues International and a sustaining member of the Junior League of Charlotte. Welcome to the 91st Annual Conference. It's my pleasure to begin our opening session by introducing Karen Miller, a member of the AJLI Board of Directors, who will deliver the invocation.
Good afternoon. Take a moment to think about your Junior League goals for the coming year. Whatever your goals are, envision them as already accomplished. Imagine that you're feeling that warm glow that develops when everything is going well and everything is turning out just as you had planned. You smile with pride as you reflect on all the positive outcomes, realizing that your leadership has made a difference. You feel strong, capable, and empowered. Now is the time for all of us to come together to think about what we want to accomplish for ourselves, our league, and our association. Together, we can harness the power from the hundreds of dynamic women in this room who are poised and ready to embrace new ideas and perspectives and emerge as empowered and more vital leaders. It is time to use our collective energy as we envision a vibrant future for the Junior League. Over the next 3 days, let us lift each other up in the brightest light and seek to empower one another. In return, we will empower ourselves to reach our fullest potential as leaders of our leagues, our association, our communities, and our world. Together, we can and will achieve all that we desire. We are the Junior League, women around the world as catalysts for lasting community change. Thank you for being here as we experience the most exciting time to be a member of the Junior League. Welcome to the 91st Annual AJLI Conference, Leadership Empowered. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karen. Karen's from the Junior League of Evanston North Shore, and I also know that she has family here, so we're really pleased. Thank you for helping share those words of inspiration with us. This afternoon, we'll hear from Kristen Green, an active member of the Junior League of Washington, D.C., who will sing the anthems of our 4 Junior League countries, accompanied by Ben LaPrairie on the piano. Please rise for the singing of the anthems.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen, send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen. Mexicanos a grito de guerra, el acero prestaria gritón, y retemblen sus centros la tierra, a sonoro rugir del cañón. Y retemblen sus centros la tierra, a sonoro rugir del cañón. Sina patria sus sienes d'oliva, de la paz e la caña divino, que en el cielo tu eterno destino, por el dedo de Dios se escribió. Mas yo o patria querida, que cielo, un soldado cada hijo de Dios, un soldado en querido de Dios. Mexicanos a grito de guerra, el acero prestar y el bridón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra, al sonoro rugir del cañón. Y retiembla en sus centros la tierra, al sonoro rugir del cañón. Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home
Please be seated. Thank you, Kristen. You sang the anthem so beautifully. I can see why the Washington Post described you as a powerful performer who allows her rich tones to shine with a glint of silver. All of us wish you well in your studies for a doctorate degree in musical arts at Catholic University, and we look forward to following your career. And also, Ben, thank you very much as well. We will now hear greetings from the governments of the 4 countries which junior leagues are located. First, we'll hear Diane Brown, incoming president of the Junior League of Hamilton Burlington, and Selby Kustik, incoming president of the Junior League of Toronto, who brings greetings from the Canadian government.
I am pleased to extend my warmest greetings to members of the Canadian Federation of Junior Leagues, attending Leadership Reimagined, the 91st Annual Conference of the Association of Junior Leagues International, taking place in Washington, D.C. Founded in 1901, AJLI is committed to promoting volunteerism and to fostering women's leadership and success. Through its membership in Mexico, the United Kingdom, the United States, and Canada, the organization acts as a catalyst for positive change in local communities. For 30 years, CFJL has been a proud affiliate of AJLI, representing the collective voice of the Canadian Junior Leagues to AJLI and external stakeholders. This event offers a wonderful chance for you to meet face-to-face with other women who share your commitment to self-improvement and community building. I am sure that the conference will provide you with many opportunities for networking and that you will leave with a renewed enthusiasm for your mission. Please accept my best wishes for a most productive and enjoyable meeting. The Right Honorable Stephen Harper, PC MP.
Je suis heureux de présenter mes salutations les plus chaleureuses aux membres de la Fédération canadienne des jeunes ligues participant à la 91e conférence annuelle de l'Association of Junior Leagues International, qui a pour thème le leadership réinventé à Washington, D.C. Depuis 1901, AJLI s'emploie à promouvoir le bénévolat ainsi que le leadership et la réussite des femmes. Grâce à l'engagement de ses membres du Mexique, du Royaume-Uni, des États-Unis et du Canada, l'organisation joue un rôle de catalyseur pour l'apport de changements positifs au sein des collectivités locales. Cette conférence est une occasion formidable de rencontrer d'autres femmes qui partagent votre engagement à l'égard de l'autoperfectionnement et du développement de la conscience communautaire. Il ne faut aucun doute que la conférence vous donnera de nombreuses possibilités de réseautage et qu'elle vous permettra de poursuivre votre mission avec un enthousiasme renouvelé. Je vous souhaite une expérience de plus fructueuse et agréable. Le très honorable Stephen Harper.
Next, we'll hear from Susie Bipko, incoming president of the Junior League of London, who brings greetings from the British government.
Hello. Right. Sorry, it's a bit intimidating. The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom was pleased to send the following message. It gives me great pleasure to once more express my support for your organization. I would like to congratulate you all for your continuing commitment to supporting and strengthening our communities. Your focus and drive in encouraging others to reach their full potential through volunteering and social action is invaluable. I would like to pay personal tribute to the Junior League of London, who again this year have given more than 20,000 hours of volunteer services. I wish you a successful and enjoyable conference. With good wishes to all involved, yours sincerely, David Cameron.
Thank you, Susie. Alexandra Artegas, incoming president of the Junior League of Mexico City, brings greetings from the Mexican government.
Mensaje del presidente de los Estados Unidos mexicanos para Junior League International. Las saludo con aprecio y las felicito por la celebración de su conferencia anual en la ciudad de Washington. Ustedes son mujeres que dan ejemplo de solidaridad, promueven la transformación social con todas las obras y acciones que realizan día con día. A través del apoyo a sus comunidades y de su esfuerzo en favor del cuidado del medio ambiente, contribuyen a un mundo más justo, más equitativo y más sustentable. Por ello, tienen toda mi gratitud y reconocimiento. En especial, agradezco la labor de mis compatriotas, las integrantes de la Junior League of Mexico City, quienes impulsan programas que contribuyen a mover a México. Su labor guarda una estrecha correspondencia con lo que hacemos en el Gobierno de la República. Al trabajar por un México en paz, atendemos las causas estructurales del delito. Enfrentamos con decisión el hambre, la pobreza y la desigualdad. Asimismo, abrimos las oportunidades que exigen y merecen nuestros jóvenes para escribir su propia historia de éxito. Finalmente, nos sumamos a las demás naciones en búsqueda de un mundo mejor para todos, tal como lo hacen ustedes, siempre comprometidas con las mejores causas de la humanidad. Estoy convencido que las mujeres seguirán transformando a México y al mundo. Les envío un respetuoso y cordial saludo. Enrique Peña Nieto. Would you like to say in English? I was requested to say something in English for better understanding, no? So I will not do everything, just skim through it. So I salute you and congratulate you on your annual conference in Washington, D.C. You are women who give an example of solidarity and promote the transformation of society through your work and actions. Through the support in your communities and the effort for the environment, you make a better world more equitable and more sustainable. Particularly, I congratulate the integrants of the Junior League of Mexico City who promote Mexico. Their work keeps a stretched correspondence with the government of Mexico. They work for a peaceful Mexico and finding, therefore, the structure against crime, poverty, hunger, and inequality. Therefore, we open the opportunity for younger people to have a better success story. Finally, you help us further a better world and always commit yourselves to better causes of humanity. I am convinced that women will always transform Mexico and the whole world. Mexico President Enrique Peña Nieto. Thank you.
Wendy Cumberland, President of the Junior League of Washington, D.C., will read the greetings from the United States.
The White House, Washington. I send greetings to all those attending the 91st Annual Conference of the Association of Junior Leagues International, Incorporated. Throughout our nation's history, generations of women have given generously of themselves to build a better future for their children and their communities, bringing together people of all backgrounds and from every walk of life. Organizations like the Junior Leagues empower women worldwide to lift up others and create lasting change. By inspiring us to imagine the world as it could be, these organizations help lay the foundation for a brighter, more hopeful tomorrow. As you gather on this special occasion, I hope you take pride in your commitment to service, and I wish you all the best. Barack Obama.
I'd like to ask Fraser Schulman, Washington, D.C. Annual Conference Site Committee Chair, to join Wendy here at the stage.
So hi again. Fraser and I would like to say welcome, and on behalf of the 2,400 members of our league here in Washington, D.C., we couldn't be more tickled to have y'all here. We hope that you're settled in. Did I do something funny? All right. We hope that y'all have gotten settled in. We hope that you're enjoying your delicacy of Georgetown cupcakes. We hope that you're writing notes in your beautiful May books, and you're enjoying the guide to the city and all the other goodies. A friend recently reminded me that Maya Angelou said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you've done, but they'll remember how you made them feel." So thanks to Fraser Schulman and her mighty team, we really hope that you feel welcome here in this great city of leaders. We also hope that you can feel and share in the excitement as we celebrate our centennial anniversary. I think all of us volunteer because service to the community is a priority, and I'm really honored to tell you that the Junior League of Washington members have given more than 5 million hours of direct service and $5.4 million here to our community. From creating and establishing hospital wards and programs to writing the first emergency relief grant to the city of Washington after the devastating riots of 1968, the JLW was here. From establishing our city's first domestic violence safe haven to caring for babies born addicted to illegal substances, we've been here. The Junior League was also the first to fund a clinic in our city to serve our city's AIDS patients, and we founded the first quality daycare center for children of homeless families. We love our community, and we love to work hard every day to improve people's lives. And our vantage point here in the nation's capital gives us perspective on issues both locally and nationally. So this year we've been working in honor of our centennial to put 100,000 books in the hands of children all across our city. And that would be new books, great books, books they want and are excited to have. So as our year is drawing to a close, we'll be giving away the remaining 45,114 books in the next 19 days. I don't have to tell all of you in this room that great volunteers make light work of monumental tasks. Our beautiful headquarters in Georgetown, which is called Loft Row House, has earned a new nickname this year. It's a bit of a clearinghouse rather than simply Loft Row House. We hope to see many of you stop by in your spare time. On Saturday, we're hosting a tea, and we've also put together a shop around in some of the finest shops in Georgetown. You can find information in your welcome bags, and you can also stop by hospitality desk. So I just would like to say congratulations to the outgoing presidents on your year. And to those of y'all that were in San Francisco, you might remember I shared a quote, and I said it was from a president, and I said I would reveal the name of the president. And before I do that, I thought this is great advice to all of you rising PEs and incoming presidents. The quote is this: being president is a lot like running a cemetery. You've got a lot of people under you, and nobody's listening. The president who uttered those words is Bill Clinton. Cheers and enjoy.
Well, first, welcome to Washington. As with any event of this magnitude, this really has been a year in the making, and we are so glad that you guys are here. I want to thank our wonderful committee and the many Junior League of Washington volunteers, most of whom are not in this room right now, but you will see them over the next few days. Look for their little red aprons, and they will be able to help you. And many thanks to our very own Kristen Green and her beautiful singing voice, and a special thanks to our JLW leadership, to Wendy and Sheila and Jennifer. Despite multiple other demands, obviously being president, they were always there to listen, to problem solve, and of course to lend a hand wherever I needed it. I've taken a bit of an East Coast tour through my Junior League experience. My mom actually was in the Junior League of Hampton Roads, yay. And I started in Philadelphia for my provisional year. Spent many years in the beautiful house in New York City. And then the past 8, maybe 9, not real sure years in DC. And I realize as I'm saying this, I'm probably revealing my age. But I must have started when I was about 5 years old. But it is a remarkable group of women who are in the league, and they inspire me every day. I am just thrilled to have made my home here in the Junior League of Washington. And as Wendy said, it has been quite a year for the Junior League of Washington. We've celebrated 100 years of service to the DC community. And hosting you all is the perfect way to culminate our centennial year. We are excited to have you here. Please stop by the hospitality desk if you have any questions during your stay, because we really want to make your annual conference and, of course, your stay in DC truly memorable. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy and Frazier. First of all, we did listen to you, but we can never forget your wonderful hospitality. Thank you very much. We also want to thank all the members of the Junior League of Washington, D.C. for your very warm welcome. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce the Board of Directors of the Association of Junior Leagues International. Each will rise when introduced and will remain standing to receive your applause at the end of the introductions. Mary Jo Hunt, Vice President from the Junior League of Buffalo. Jenny Jarrett, Treasurer, Junior League of Roanoke Valley. Kathy Raybon, Secretary, Junior League of Clearwater, Dunedin. Deanne Cook, Junior League of Des Moines. Liz Davis, Junior League of Olympia. Cynthia Foster, Junior League of San Francisco. Alice Gardner-Borita, Junior League of Calgary. Eileen Goodwin, Junior League of San Jose. Becker Holland, Junior League of Gainesville. Shuba Limbach, the Junior League of Columbus, Ohio. Gwen Longrigan, Junior League of Clearwater, Dunedin. Karen Miller, Junior League of Evanston, North Shore. Jody Penn, Junior League of Shreveport, Bossier. Donna Panapinto, Junior League of Detroit. Terry Nass Reeder, Junior League of Akron. Diane Rohde, Junior League of the City of New York. Olivia Thomas, Junior League of Sarasota. And Evelyn Zabo, Junior League of Seattle. Thank you for your dedicated service. Susan Danish, AJLI's Executive Director, is here on the dais with us as well. And members of the association staff, yes, she deserves it. Members of the association staff also join us this afternoon. Will the staff please stand? These women and men work diligently to provide services to all of the junior leagues, and I hope you will take the opportunity to get to know the staff while you're here in Washington. And again, we just want to thank them for all the efforts on behalf of the association. You saw their special talents. I began by telling you that the video was done in-house. All right, for official business. Will the first session of the annual meeting please come to order? And our first business today is the roll call. First, we're going to determine if we have a quorum based on both the actual attendance of the leagues and the number of proxies reported so far. Then we will enjoy our traditional celebration of our association of 293 leagues in four countries, with the association secretary, Kathy Raybon, calling the roll of the Junior League. I now call on Association Secretary Kathy Raybon, who will report on attendance.
Madam President, AJLI bylaws state that a majority of the junior leagues entitled to vote who are present in person or by proxy constitute quorum. That means the presence of 148 junior leagues constitutes quorum. The official registration of the leagues present as of today, May 16, 2013, is 204. In addition, 4 are present by proxy. Therefore, the number of leagues present or represented by proxy is 208. Therefore, I move that the registration be accepted and we have quorum.
Is there a second? Good. It's been moved and seconded to adopt the registration report. A majority vote is required for adoption. If there is no objection, the chair proposes to take a voice vote. So all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say nay. It's definitely true that the ayes have it, and the meeting registration is adopted. Now the secretary will call the roll.
Good afternoon. As I call the roll of the junior leagues, we will journey together through over 10 decades of history and volunteer community leadership. At the end of each decade, I will read the list of leagues joining the association during that time, and we will witness the lights of our junior league map glow. When I conclude reading the list, I will ask all of the delegates from those leagues to please respond present, all at the same time, and turn your lights on. Then after the lights are on, and you've said present, place your light on the table in front of you. The lights will remain lit throughout our roll call to illustrate the growth of our junior leagues. So, at the end of each decade, I will read the list of leagues, and at the end of the list, please respond by saying present. Let's begin our video history now.
The turn of the century was a time of fast-paced change in the world. The promise of freedom and opportunity lured many immigrants to America's shores. Settlement house workers tackled urban problems and provided desperately needed services to these new arrivals. At 18, Mary Harriman was preparing to enter Barnard College. She possessed a well-developed social conscience and was inspired one day by a lecture on the settlement work being done on New York's Lower East Side. She and her friend Natalie Henderson recruited their fellow debutantes to form a group to support the work of the settlement houses. So in 1901, the Junior League for the Promotion of Settlement Movements was born. It became the first Junior League.
Will the Junior League of the City of New York please respond as our very first league by saying present?
Junior League work soon expanded. Junior League volunteers and professional teachers went together into homes. Their visiting teachers concept was soon adopted by the New York City public school system. In Brooklyn, League members identified the need for free lunches in the public schools and successfully petitioned the Board of Education. Once again, the idea would become a model for school lunch programs elsewhere.
In this first decade of the 20th century, 3 new leagues were founded: the Junior Leagues of Boston, Brooklyn, and Portland, Oregon. Will Boston, Brooklyn, and Portland, Oregon please respond present?
During the second decade of the 20th century, the role of women in the public arena strengthened. Out of the settlement house movement had come a new respect for social work and for women as volunteers. As more leagues were formed and members joined, committee efforts branched out with visiting nurse programs and baby shelters, even dressmaking classes and hospital work. To keep members connected, a Junior League bulletin was created in 1911. During World War I, Junior Leagues played an active role selling war bonds. The San Francisco League formed a motor delivery service that served as a model for the nationwide Red Cross Motor Corps. The suffragette movement was also in full swing, and one league, St. Louis, was formed in 1915, specifically to support the cause. By the end of the 1910s, the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution passed, giving all American women the right to vote.
21 additional leagues joined and were formed during this decade. The Junior Leagues of Baltimore, Chicago, Cleveland, Philadelphia, San Francisco, the Oranges and Short Hills, Washington, D.C., Detroit, Kansas City, St. Louis, Atlanta, Milwaukee, Racine, Albany, New York, Chattanooga, St. Paul, Wilmington, Delaware, Denver, Buffalo, Omaha, and Poughkeepsie. Will the 21 leagues prior to 1920 please respond by saying present?
The Great Depression of the 1930s ushered in difficult times, and the need for junior league services rose. Leagues focused on the direct needs of their communities, whether through child lunch programs, anti-tuberculosis campaigns, unemployment bureaus, and homes for disabled children. Some leagues realized that responding to need alone was not enough. 4 Virginia leagues formed the first State Public Affairs Committee, which changed and improved the state's policy toward child foster care. At the end of this decade, the Junior League movement expanded across the U.S. and Canada, as well as into Mexico.
During the 1920s, 78 more leagues were formed in the United States and Canada. The leagues of Cincinnati, Dayton, Eastern Fairfield County, Syracuse, Duluth, Hartford, Knoxville, Lincoln, Louisville, Montclair, Newark, Rhode Island, St. Joseph, Sioux City, Tacoma, Greater Princeton, Birmingham, Alabama, Dallas, Indianapolis, Kingston, Little Rock, Memphis, Nashville, Orange County, New York, Pittsburgh, Portland, Maine, Greater Springfield, Massachusetts, Charleston, South Carolina, and Charleston, West Virginia, Columbus, Ohio, Honolulu, Greater New Haven, Elizabeth, Plainfield, Stamford, Norwalk, Tulsa, Winston-Salem, Colorado Springs, Evanston, North Shore, Jacksonville, Lancaster, Lexington, Minneapolis, New Orleans, Reading, San Antonio, Seattle, and Columbia, Erie, Grand Rapids, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Parkersburg, Santa Barbara, Spokane, Wichita, Worcester, Akron, Charlotte, Houston, Los Angeles, Montgomery, Pasadena, Savannah, Toronto, Asheville, Fairmont, Miami, Richmond, Boise, Flint, Greensboro, Oklahoma City, Roanoke Valley, Tampa, Augusta, Harrisburg, Lynchburg, San Diego, Troy, and Williamsport. Will the 78 junior leagues of the Roaring Twenties please respond present and light your lights?
The Great Depression of the 1930s ushered in difficult times, and the need for junior league services rose. Leagues focused on the direct needs of their communities, whether through child lunch programs, anti-tuberculosis campaigns, unemployment bureaus, and homes for disabled children. Some leagues realized that responding to need alone was not enough. 4 Virginia leagues formed the first State Public Affairs Committee, which changed and improved the state's policy toward child foster care. At the end of this decade, the Junior League movement expanded across the U.S. and Canada, as well as into Mexico.
During this decade, 36 leagues joined the association. They are the Junior Leagues of Fort Worth, Mexico City, Raleigh, Rockford, Des Moines, Greater Elmira Corning, Mobile, St. Petersburg, Binghamton, Schenectady and Saratoga counties, Youngstown, El Paso, Bergen County, Halifax, Huntington, Berkshire County, Rochester, Shreveport Bossier, Toledo, Tucson, Austin, Cedar Rapids, Hamilton, Burlington, Saginaw Valley, Salt Lake City, Wilkes-Barre, Oakland East Bay, Phoenix, Columbus, Georgia, Morristown, Peoria, Stark County, Macon, Topeka, Durham and Orange counties, and Great Falls. Will the 36 junior leagues of the 1930s please respond present?
The 1940s are indelibly linked to World War II. Canadian leagues drove in the motor corps, served in blood banks, and were the first to establish volunteer bureaus to support the war effort, an idea that expanded to the U.S., where junior league volunteers, with their expertise in recruiting and training, were once again called upon to serve their country. Members like Ovida Culp-Hobby of the Houston League assumed national leadership positions. She was tapped by Congress to help create the Women's Army Corps known as the WACs. In addition to the war efforts, the leagues created other new services, such as the very first mobile cancer clinic, which was established by the Louisville League.
The Junior League grew by 23 leagues during this decade. The Junior Leagues of Scranton and Wheeling, Fort Wayne, Jackson, Pelham, Sacramento, the Lehigh Valley, Corpus Christi, South Bend, Amarillo, Beaumont, Waco, Greenville, Greater Orlando, Central Westchester, Texarkana, Albuquerque, Battle Creek, Bronxville, Lansing, Long Beach, Galveston County, and Wyandotte and Johnson counties. Will the junior leagues of the 1940s please respond present and light your lights?
In the 1950s, the Junior League began to face ever more societal changes. With returning GIs and the formation of numerous new families, a home with children in the suburbs became the norm for many women. Nearly 150 junior leagues were involved in remedial reading centers, diagnostic testing programs, and programs for gifted and talented children. The Junior League of Mexico City extended its work to the blind. A visit from Helen Keller brought international recognition, and by 1962, the League had built the most comprehensive center for the blind in the Spanish-speaking world. With TV in its infancy, junior leagues were among the first to push for quality programming for children and collaborated in the development of educational TV. Junior leagues were involved in more than 300 arts projects and multiple partnerships in many cities to establish children's museums and other cultural outlets. Throughout their history, leagues have found innovative ways to raise funds to support their work. Thrift shops, follies, galas, markets, and more. Though Augusta, Georgia wrote the very first cookbook, it was with the publication and astute marketing of Charleston Receipts that the cookbook, as a fundraiser, gained a momentum that continues today.
In the 1950s, 21 new junior leagues joined the association. The Junior Leagues of Westchester on the Sound, Springfield, Illinois, Westchester on Hudson, Spartanburg, Birmingham, Michigan, High Point, Wilmington, North Carolina, Northern Westchester, Ogden, Lubbock, Abilene, Baton Rouge, Calgary, Hampton Roads, San Angelo, Kingsport, Greater New Britain, Greater Fort Lauderdale, Greenwich, Edmonton, and Fresno. Let's hear from the junior leagues of the 1950s. Yeah,
The 1960s brought everyone, including the Junior League, into a new reality. Young women were no longer expected to simply marry and settle down. Monumental shifts were at work in women's lives and dreams. The League's long commitment to the arts flourished with reading programs, art appreciation, music, and nature. Historic preservation projects became a popular community contribution. Environmental issues also became a concern. The Junior League of Toledo produced Fate of a River, a documentary on water pollution, resulting in league members being asked to testify before Congress.
In the 1960s, 22 more junior leagues joined the association. They are the junior leagues of Fort Smith, Tyler, Tallahassee, Evansville, York, the Palm Beaches, Riverside, Eugene, Long Island, Monterey County, Albany, Georgia, Midland, Bakersfield, Palo Alto, Mid-Peninsula, Summit, Monmouth County, Fargo, Moorhead, Lake Charles, San Jose, Pensacola, Waterloo, Cedar Falls, and Wichita Falls. Will the junior leagues of the 1960s please raise your lights and say present?
In the 1970s, leagues affirmed their commitment to a diverse membership by adopting the Reaching Out statement that welcomes women of all races, religions, and national origins who demonstrate an interest in and commitment to volunteerism. Leagues expanded their participation in public affairs. Impact was a 4-year collaboration of over 200 leagues with the U.S. government to improve the criminal and juvenile justice systems. St. Louis designed teen outreach to increase graduation rates and reduce teen pregnancy. It was recognized and replicated association-wide. Leagues provided training for retirees to become community volunteers through an association pilot, Project VIE. Despite the growth of the organization, this was also a time when the role of the volunteer was questioned by women's groups who felt their fight for equal rights for women clashed with the idea of volunteerism. Association leaders went on record validating volunteerism as a significant avenue for women to achieve leadership positions. Their voices were heard.
In the 1970s, 24 leagues joined the association. They are the junior leagues of Billings, Orange County, California, Las Vegas, Pine Bluff, Clearwater, Dunedin, Champaign-Urbana, DeKalb County, Lafayette, Greater Lakeland, Owensboro, Alexandria, Gainesville, Huntsville, Cobb Marietta, Sarasota, Tuscaloosa, Springfield, Missouri, Greater Alton, Fayetteville, Odessa, Pueblo, North Little Rock, Gaston County, and Reno. Will the junior leagues of the 1970s, let's hear you say present.
In the 1980s, junior leagues took on new and often controversial issues. Leagues helped gain passage of the first federal legislation to address domestic violence, the Family Violence Prevention and Services Act of 1984. In 1985, the Junior League launched Woman to Woman, a 3-year international public awareness program addressing alcohol abuse among women. More than 100 leagues participated. In 1986, the Junior League of Los Angeles was the first league to tackle AIDS, a daring new addition to the league's agenda. Leagues continued their work with children through programs like Project Lead, an international leadership training program for marginalized youth. This was also the decade when a former Junior League of Phoenix president, Sandra Day O'Connor, was named the first woman to the U.S. Supreme Court, and the Junior League movement expanded to the United Kingdom.
35 leagues joined the association during the 1980s. They are the junior leagues of Bristol, South Brevard, Kalamazoo, Richardson, Athens, Longview, Quad Cities, Yakima, Charlottesville, Arlington, Monroe, Annapolis, Central and North Brevard, Norman, Victoria, Boca Raton, Collin County, Daytona Beach, Johnson City, Northern Virginia, London, Sioux Falls, McAllen, Harlingen, Manatee County, Fort Myers, Fort Collins, Lawton, the Emerald Coast, Ann Arbor, Morgan County, Bryan College Station, Bell County, Ocala, and Florence. Let's hear from the leagues of the 1980s.
The 1990s was a decade of prosperity, with more women as the primary wage earners in the family, more women in business and in government. Leagues were leading the march for policy change at the top as members continued to advocate for critical issues like domestic violence with the Silent Witness Initiative. Building on environmental concerns, the Junior League of Mexico City began their country's first substantive recycling project, and they were instrumental in the passage of environmental legislation in Mexico. The Junior League of Cleveland encouraged leagues to come together, and so the association initiated the Don't Wait to Vaccinate campaign, an international awareness program to prevent childhood illnesses. The campaign was implemented by all 276 leagues. And it was in the 90s that AJLI established the Mary Harriman Community Leadership Award to recognize outstanding women who, like our founder, have made a lasting difference through their lifelong commitment to volunteerism.
23 leagues joined the association in the 1990s. They are the Junior Leagues of Douglas County, North Harris and South Montgomery counties, Gwinnett and North Fulton counties, Greater Winter Haven, Anniston Calhoun, Anderson County, Eau Claire, Olympia, Madison, Gainesville Hall County, Indian River, Kane and DuPage counties, Jackson County, Las Cruces, Palm Springs Desert Communities, Napa, Sonoma, Murfreesboro, Lufkin, the Flint Hills, Lee County, Moore County, Greater Covington, and Northwest Arkansas. Will the leagues of the 1990s please respond, present?
As we marked the centennial, the Junior League movement celebrated 100 years of dedicated volunteer service and the vital role women can play in our society. In recognition of its legacy, AJLI was chosen to co-chair the U.S. Committee in the United Nations International Year of the Volunteer. Today, as we're headlong into the 21st century, the Junior League finds itself ever true to its mission. Whether it's nutrition education programs for children, helping people rebuild after a hurricane, or teaching a whole new generation about the power of volunteering, Junior League members continue to have an impact, and we continue to add leagues to the association.
We have welcomed 6 new leagues to the association since the year 2000. They are the Junior Leagues of Martin County, Champlain Valley, the Shoals, San Joaquin County, Guadalajara, and Panama City. Will the 21st Century Leagues please say present?
This is the story of the Junior League, an organization with a proud history, a bright future, and an enduring mission. We have been and will always be an organization promoting volunteerism, developing the potential of women, and improving communities through the effective action and leadership of trained volunteers. We will always be women building better communities.
Now I would like to ask all delegates to please stand, rise and hold your lights high as they recognize the symbol of the power of our association. Let's give ourselves a big round of applause. Yeah! Madam President, we have called the roll. We have honored our past 112 years of service, and we have set the stage for the next century. Our history clearly demonstrates how we have always met the needs of our communities, and we've reimagined the leadership of women to meet those ever-changing needs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kathy. She works very hard to prepare the roll call, and it shows. Thank you very much. And now we'd like to recognize some of our oldest junior leagues who will begin celebrating significant anniversaries between this conference and the conference in 2014. I'm going to recognize each league, so let's all make some noise for them when their names are called. And on Saturday evening, we invite the delegates of each anniversary league to join us briefly in the green room, which is in McPherson, to receive your plaques, and we'll take a commemorative photo. So now, celebrating its 50th anniversary, the Junior League of Midland. Celebrating its 75th anniversary, the Junior League of Durham and Orange Shores. Can you stand? It's Durham and Orange counties. Celebrating its 80th anniversary, the Junior Leagues of Berkshire County, Halifax, and Wilkes-Barre. Celebrating their 85th anniversary, the Junior Leagues of Augusta, Lynchburg, Oklahoma, San Diego, and Williamsport. Celebrating their 90th anniversary, the Junior Leagues of Charleston, West Virginia, Columbus, Ohio, Elizabeth, Plainfield, Colorado Springs, Jacksonville, Lancaster, Reading, and Seattle. And now, the two leagues celebrating their 100th anniversaries, the Junior League of the Oranges and Short Hills, and the Junior League of Washington, D.C. Congratulations again to our Centennial Leagues. In my excitement, I overlooked the leagues that are celebrating their 95th anniversary. The Junior League of Wilmington, Delaware, Buffalo, Denver, Omaha, and Poughkeepsie. Congratulations. In a few years, we look forward to celebrating your centennial too. I want to remind you again about coming on Saturday to the green room so we can take your photos then. The next order of business is the adoption of the conference rules, which were included in the call to conference materials. The conference rules included tentative hours for the governance office and submission of advisory resolutions. Due to programming changes made after the posting of the rules, we have changed the hours of the governance office, and the new hours are shown on the screen. There are time changes for one each slot on Thursday and Friday to better meet the breaks between sessions, and we have extended the time to submit, sign on, or take your name off an advisory resolution on Friday. The times are posted at the registration desk and on the governance office door. Taking into account these time changes, if there are no objection, we will dispense with the reading of the rules. And are there any questions on the conference rules? So the question before you is the adoption of the conference rules with the time changes for the governance office and submission of advisory resolutions, which requires a 2/3 vote. If there is no objection, we will have a standing vote by the voting delegates of each member league. So those in favor, please rise. Thank you. You may be seated. Those opposed, please rise. The conference rules are adopted. The next business in order is to adopt the program, which includes the agenda for the conference. The question before you is the adoption of the program, and this requires a majority vote. Is there any discussion or any questions? If there's no objection, we'll have a voice vote. Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say nay. The conference program is adopted. The minutes of the 2012 annual conference have been approved by the Minutes Approval Committee in accordance with the procedures established on page 6 of the conference rules. The chair now calls on Association Governance Chair Terry Nash Reeder, who will announce the results of the 2013-14 elections and introduce the newly elected members of the Association Board of Directors and the Association Governance Committee. Terry?
Thank you, Tony. Madam President, it is with great pleasure that I announce the results of the association elections. I will first announce the results for the members of the AGLI Board of Directors. I will begin with the newly elected officers and then with the newly elected directors, who will please stand as their names are called. Please hold your applause until all introductions have been made. Ellen Rose, Junior League of New York City. City of New York. I do that every time. Has been duly elected by the Junior Leagues of the 2013-2014 Association President-elect. At the conclusion of her term, Ellen will automatically assume the office of AGLI President for a 2-year term, 2014 to 2016. Kathy Raybon, Junior League, Clearwater, Dunedin, has been duly elected by the Junior Leagues as the 2013-2014 Association Secretary. As part of the realignment of the election schedule as a result of the changes in the terms and structure of the AGLI Board of Directors approved by the Junior Leagues at the 2012 annual conference, Kathy will serve a 1-year term as Secretary. Members of the Board of Directors who've been duly elected by the Junior Leagues as at-large directors for a 3-year term from 2013 to 2016 are Kathleen Demereau, Junior League of Richmond. Cece Gassner, Junior League of Boise. Shuba Lembach, Junior League of Columbus, Ohio. Shuba has been duly re-elected by the Junior Leagues to a second 3-year term, reflecting the changes in the terms of the AJLI Board of Directors as approved by the Junior Leagues at the 2012 Annual Conference. And Deborah Rubens, Junior League of Sacramento. The member of the Board of Directors who has been duly elected by the Junior Leagues to serve as the Governance Committee Vice Chair is Laurel Lee Alexander, Junior League of Monterey County, for a 1-year term, 2013 to 2014. After her 1-year term as Vice Chair, Laurel will succeed to the position of Chair of the Governance Committee for a 1-year term, 2014 to 2015. Finally, the member of the Board of Directors who was duly elected as the Governance Committee Vice Chair for 2012-2013 and who will assume the position of Governance Committee Chair for 2013-2014 is Becker Holland, Junior League of Gainesville. Please join me in congratulating the incoming members of the AJLI Board of Directors. Now it gives me great joy to announce the women who have been duly elected by the Junior Leagues as at-large representatives to the Association Governance Committee and who will serve our member leagues for the next 2 years, 2013 to 2015. They are not with us today at this conference. Gretchen Garsow-Craw, Junior League of San Antonio. Ruth McGuire, Junior League of Milwaukee. Elizabeth Tyminski, Junior League of Boston. Elizabeth Williams, Junior League of Columbia, and Daniel Wilberg, Junior League of Champaign-Urbana. Please join me in congratulating the incoming members of the Association Governance Committee. I would also like to acknowledge the women that will be serving the second year of their 2-year terms as at-large representatives of the Governance Committee. Their commitment to the association will ensure our continued tradition of excellence in leadership. Cynthia Clanton, Junior League of Atlanta. Jane Hopkins Gould, Junior League of Minneapolis. Deidre Kirtley, Junior League of Tulsa. Deneen Palmatier, Junior League of Schenectady and Saratoga Counties. And Sarah Shinneman, Junior League of Collin County. Both Deneen and Sarah are in the audience this afternoon, and that's if Sarah made it here yet. But Deneen and Sarah, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. And Sarah, I see you made it. There are several members of the 2012-2013 Association Governance attending the conference and in the audience this afternoon. Others will be joining us later. I encourage delegates to seek out and talk with the Governance Committee members throughout the conference and at the governance table in the exhibit area. The Governance Committee will be happy to talk to you about their experiences, the open position for terms beginning June 1st, 2014, and how you can help identify association leaders in your leagues. Thank you so very much.
Oops, there we go. Terry, thank you so much for your leadership and congratulations to all of those who have been elected. The chair now calls on Association Board Member Diane Rohde.
Thank you, Tony. 1 year ago, when Tony Freeman was starting her presidency, her first order of business was to ask the board to go on a learning journey. Now, this wasn't one of those imaginary journeys, you know, the kind like in training workshops, you'll probably do this week, where they say, close your eyes, think you're going to the beach. It's always the beach. No, this was a real journey, although it was contained in just a few short blocks of San Francisco. Tony had arranged for us to visit organizations with worldwide presence, who had different structures, who utilized volunteers in different ways, who had different ways of moving their missions forward. Some of the organizations were the Wikipedia Foundation, or Room to Read, and others. And why did Tony ask us to go on this journey? Well, she wanted us to gain knowledge. She wanted us to really open our imagination and just to think about what was possible. And I'll tell you, throughout the year, we have often referred back to what was learned in those few hours. That learning journey set the tone for Tony as a leader, and here's why. And these are all good things for all of you. She seeks information and knowledge from everyone and all sources. She really listens. She guides. She delegates. She is without ego when it comes to who gets credit for things being done. For Tony, the important question is, are we doing today what's going to make a difference tomorrow? And she's very willing to start things that she knows will need to be completed long after she is president. Now, years ago, when I was a new provisional in a new town, I saw a little notice in the newsletter, yes, they still had newsletters back then, that the AJLI president was going to speak at a dinner meeting. Well, actually, it was the AJL president. They didn't even have the I back then, so it was just AJL. And I thought, I will never have a chance to ever meet another AJLI president in person. So I signed up for the dinner. But when I got there, I realized there must have been some secret code in that little newsletter article, because the only people there were the board and, committee chairs and maybe a few members, but certainly no provisionals. So you can imagine how surprised the board was to see me there. And I'm not even really so sure they knew I was a provisional. I think maybe they thought I was like part of the catering staff that showed up late. But anyway, I was pretty determined to get this one and only shot at meeting the AJLI president, so I just walked up and introduced myself. And then afterwards, somebody from the board said, "Who are you?" Anyway, but I'm so glad I did that, because she inspired me, and she made me realize that junior leagues are all around the world doing amazing things, and she also made me realize every member counts, even a provisional. I'm sure the board was mighty happy to see my transfer papers come in a few months after that. But as luck would have it, I've had the opportunity to get to know quite a few AJLI presidents, and yet I can say Tony brings a special touch. She's visionary, yet practical. She's caring and compassionate. She's efficient. She's a lot of fun. She works full-time, and she volunteers at other organizations. This all adds up to truly being a visionary leader. It's been remarkable to be on her board, and you as leagues are very, very lucky to have this fantastic woman at the top leadership post. And now you're going to have an opportunity to hear from her. Ladies, it gives me great pleasure to introduce your AJLI president, Tony Friedman.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's the first time I heard that. Diane wouldn't let me see her speech. And I really appreciate all your kind words and have certainly enjoyed working with you over this last year. I've been really looking forward to our coming together as an association, and I'm so pleased that there are over 600 of us who are really here to truly envision what leadership and power means. We've come together recalling the year we've had, a year of some real challenges. Storms like Sandy, which touched many leagues in the area, earthquakes like the ones in China just last month, and even the tornado, fires, and flooding that we hear on the news even as recent as yesterday. That is why their Junior League Disaster Fund is so important. Recently, we used the fund to give the Junior League of Mobile $10,000 as its headquarters was damaged by not one, but by 2 tornadoes. Then there were accidents like the explosion in West Texas, only miles away from the Junior League of Waco. And there are other disasters around the world, like the factories in Bangladesh. We've seen unbelievable violence, such as Newtown, the Boston Marathon, and for too many of us, even in the streets in our own backyards. Yet, in the face of so much grief, we're also come together to share some really good news and successes, to mark anniversaries like the Junior League of Washington, D.C., and the Oranges and Short Hills, to honor individuals at the Mary Harriman Luncheon tomorrow, and to celebrate awards on Saturday night. To acknowledge that for the first time in a long time, active membership across the association is up. I just met with the Canadian Federation of Junior Leagues, and I was so pleased to hear that every league in the Federation is growing, and many of you have record numbers of membership classes already. However, on the flip side, I'm really sad to report that we're losing sustainers, which is why I really want to especially thank the sustainers who are here today for the conference. So here is my message to the association. I want you to know with confidence that the Association of Junior Leagues is strong. We are headed into the new year with a balanced budget and lots of important work underway to create the Junior League for the future. The dues increase that was approved in 2011 takes effect this coming year. And as it was phased in over the last 2 years, we purposely planned an investment deficit budget so that our healthy reserves could be used so that we would not lose our momentum. And because of this, because of what is happening in the world around us, because of where we come from and where we are now, we are here together to say this time is now. Our world needs leaders in this room, in every league, in every country. In continuing the legacy of leadership, we confirm we have courage, we have tenacity, we have the know-how, and we have the power. We are leaders empowered. It is leadership that keeps our leagues, our members going, and helps our communities. It is a power that can bring light even to the depths of darkness. So I want to discuss 3 sources of power: the power of light, the power of water, and the power of wind. The power of light really helps grow crops and really makes some of our basic needs available to us. Well, AJLI has been working and making progress to meet the basic needs of junior leagues across our association. We're developing a broader knowledge base through a curriculum for all of our members. We also have worked and continue the work of Cedar Interactive that met with you last year. All of that is underway. We're providing tools for you, such as Webinar Wednesdays, which provide wonderful ways to connect and hear from experts on many topics. We had our first Webinar Wednesday in Spanish just last month. But there's so much more. You now have meeting scheduling, purchasing point, and widgets, all kinds of things that help you now do services that make your responsibilities a little easier and cost-effective. We're working to make sure that your light really burns strong, to make sure that you're well-trained and ready as volunteers by providing the best resources and tools anywhere. Now let's talk about the power of water. It's really broad and expansive. There's nothing like the power of water. I worked for a foundation for several years by a man who understood the power of water. He created Duke Energy, and from these resources that he made, he founded Duke University and the Duke Endowment. Both of these institutions are philanthropic and also have a lasting legacy beyond that single man. Water cleanses, water refreshes, water provides the most essential element of survival. And there's no better example of cleansing water for our association than the learning teams, the alts that we call them. It's been a great year for them, and they've moved from planning to actually testing some of their work. They're bringing refreshing new ways to address opportunities for us. And I really want to thank the 79 leagues who remain committed to the alts during this process. Thank you for personally being involved, and those who have served as alt coaches as well. If you're an alt league, will you please stand? You'll hear more about the work that they're doing with the service dialogue later. The last element of power that I want to discuss is the power of when, because when is really far-reaching, and no one can deny that the winds of change are really blowing across our association. The AJLI board is working to bring fresh air into what is known as Question 2 in the strategic roadmap, and that is, what does women around the world in the vision statement mean for our organization? Tomorrow morning, we're going to talk more about it at Governance Dialogue. We're going to share with you some research, but you should know that this is just a starting point. There's no quick answer to that question, and we have much more learning to do. But using our voices together is a win in itself, and it's gaining strength more and more in recent years. So I've talked about the three powers, the power of light, the power of water, and the power of wind. Each of them can create a powerful change, and we are growing. Together, we are powerfully changing, which is why I'm so excited about the lineup of speakers for this conference. You're going to meet Junior League women who have used their power in government. You're going to hear from heads of major organizations who are sharing their expertise. You're going to hear from thought leaders on leadership and on issues that so many leagues have been working on. This is a tremendous opportunity to stop and reflect, to consider the big picture for your league and all of the junior leagues, as well as getting the tools and resources and information necessary that are provided for you in workshops. We're making the most of being here in Washington, D.C., including our first Hill Day. If you were in Hill Day, stand up and be recognized. What a powerful tool and resource that we provided. I am just so proud of all the women who participated, and we had over 150 people participate in Hill Day. It was a great experience. Many say that government is the seat of power, but here's a thought I want to frame for this meeting. The power, the leadership is not exclusively in our nation's capital. I'm looking at power right here in this room. Each of you are occupying a seat of power where you are right now and where you are going to be in the future. Each of you holds the potential and the promise, not just for your own personal development, but for your fellow junior leagues and for the individuals for whom you serve. You never know about the life you may touch. We are empowering the future. The Junior League is 155,000 points of light. We are a life source pouring across 293 communities, and we are the winds of change, and especially in this troubled and desperately world where we are most needed. As a room full of women, a room full of leaders, we have the power to change our communities and our countries. We are women empowered. Repeat after me. We are women empowered. We are women empowered. Oh no, say it louder. We are women empowered. We are women empowered. Get up and say it again. Together. We are women empowered. Thank you very much. Before I adjourn this session, I want to check with staff to see if there are any announcements. No? Okay, we're okay. I want to remind junior leagues who... Pardon? A blue sweater is at Lost and Found. And as cold as some of the meeting rooms are sometimes, you better find it soon. I want to remind you that junior leagues wishing to propose a topic for discussion for the Governance Dialogue, which is tomorrow at 9 o'clock, must do so by submitting their item in writing to the Governance Office, which is in the Potomac Conference Room on the Constitution level, and they must submit it no later than 7 p.m. today. This afternoon, the Governance Office will be open several times, at 2:45 p.m., again at 4:15 p.m., and again at 6:15 p.m. However, the office will close at 7 p.m. tonight, and I want to remind you that the hours are posted at registration and on the Governance Office door. Also, junior leagues interested in proposing an advisory resolution for consideration at the annual meeting, which will be held this Saturday, must do so by 6:30 p.m. today, 6:30 p.m. on Friday. Again, you must submit these to the Governance Office. Junior leagues wishing to add or delete their names to an advisory or support of an advisory resolution must do so at the Governance Office as well, and they must do it by 6:30 p.m. on Friday. Members of the Rules Committee, who are myself, Association Secretary Kathy Raybon, Association Vice President Mary Jo Hunt, and HLI board member Shuba Limbach are available to assist you in any matter coming before the either at the association dialogue or at the annual meeting. Additionally, the association parliamentarian, Dr. Eugene Bierbaum, and HLI's executive director Susan Danish, and the chief officer of strategic initiatives, Ann Dalton. We are all available to you. So the first session of the 91st annual meeting of the association is adjourned, and the second session will convene at 11 a.m. on Saturday, May 18th in the ballroom. Please enjoy this afternoon's sessions, and we'll see you back at 4:45 p.m. for the service dialogue.